Okay.
Is that an Etch-a-Sketch?
I know. Nice. I know, it came to my house.
Trying to figure out why is this monitor so heavy?
It's old.
None of us are as young as we used to be.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon as I stretch my leg.
Okay, we're coming back from closed session, and I'll ask our city attorney, Mr. Black, if we have anything to report out.
Mayor, no final actions were taken in closed session.
Thank you. So at this time, I'd like to open up the regular city council meeting for the city of Crescent City for Monday, November 5th. And could you please take the roll, Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Westfall? Here. Councilmember Shalom?
Here.
Councilmember Holly?
Here?
Mayor Pro Tem Ania?
Here.
And Mayor Murray.
Here, thank you. And I'll ask Councilmember Shalong to lead us in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And welcome to those who are in the audience watching us live and those who will watch us later. We have no acknowledgments tonight, so I'll move right into the consent calendar. Are there any questions?
Jess, could we separate out number 4 from the rest of the consent calendar?
Is there a reason why you want to do that?
I'm just not, I'd like to get a little more explanation.
I'll move for approval from items 1 through 3 of the consent calendar.
I'll second that motion.
Could you please take the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Holly?
Yes.
Councilmember Shalom? Yes. Councilmember Westfall?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ania?
Yes.
And Mayor Murray.
Yes, and on to item number 4, which is approval of an agreement between the County of Del Norte and the City of Crescent City for emergency management performance grants pass-through funding. Mr. Plotso?
Is there specific questions Councilmember Westfall would like me to address in this?
I had never read anything like this before, and I see that under attachment number E, number 4, page 6 of 8, it has a sweat-free code of conduct. Could you just explain exactly what that means and who it affects?
What item are you talking about?
Well, attachment E.
Attachment E, page 6 of 8, number 4.
Okay.
How does that start, number 4? You're talking about will initiate it complete the work?
A sweat-free code of conduct.
Oh. Let's see that.
Oh, I think, I'm going to be honest with you, I've never really encountered this before, but I think what it's talking about is not using sweatshops and forced labor, convict labor.
Oh, okay.
That's
It
fine.
actually says that in the paragraph.
Yeah.
Oh, forced labor, child labor. Okay.
Well, just for a point of clarification, if we were to employ a contractor that had a business outside of the area that employed forced labor or any of these listed things, would that eliminate that contractor as a source?
Just give me a moment to read this. Well, it's kind of I think the answer is yes, although actually that paragraph doesn't exactly say that. It just says they have to certify and promise that they are sweat-free. But if they're not willing to do that, then they can't enter into this contract,
Okay, thank you.
because they can't sign this.
Good question.
Anything else?
That's it.
I'll move for approval of consent item number 4.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay,
Thank you.
because I have a question
Oh, okay.
on number 4. But I was waiting for it to be moved before we could
Okay.
discuss it. On attachment B, 51,582 for the equipment purchase and installation of the security fencing around the wastewater treatment and water treatment facilities. Can you just tell me where is that going to be located and who's going to do it?
We can do that. Actually, I'll have Eric just address the mechanics of that for each facility.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the council. Yes, for this project, we're going to put together a team within the city. That team will be made up of Tom Romsberg, Fritz Ludeman, myself. We're going to look at each of these facilities in depth, come up with the exact locations of the cameras, of some of the other security features that we're looking at implementing at the wastewater treatment plant and the water facilities.
And the PD included as well. Police
Who?
department.
And
Police
the
department.
Police department will be included as well. And what we'll do then is we'll put it out to bid with some of the local security companies, high-tech security, advanced alarms, and from that point then we'll bid the project.
Okay.
So the treatment plant will include security cameras, which will also, be used in security, as well as we're going to implement or try to implement a pan tilt zoom camera is what we have envisioned right now, that will be able to not only act as a security camera, but also will provide some insight in a remote access type of location. So if, say, we weren't able to be at the treatment plant and say we wanted to view the harbor, if, say, a tsunami's coming in, we'd be able to access that and view what's going on within the harbor, within the facility from a remote location. So that's included at the treatment plant itself, as well as access control. So that we'll all have ID badges, different things like that we'll actually be able to scan at the doorway. That will log who comes in, who goes. Those same type of features will be included on the water system, if that answers your question a little bit
Yep,
more.
thank you.
I just thought of one, if I may. At the wastewater plant, I know it's not in here, but I've been thinking about this. I don't know, we may not have the money. Can thought go into some way of securing the conference room so people can use it at night? I know you'd probably have to put secured doors past the restrooms,
Exactly.
and, that have to be secured.
I'll address that, and we've talked about that.
Oh, did you?
Quite extensively with staff, and, a lot of the use of the conference room there is when, somebody from staff
Right.
is hosting a meeting, and we kind of have an internal policy that, if you're staff and you're hosting, a meeting, then you have control and will be responsible. Part of the security issue is going to have, the keypads, access in and out. So as staff hosting a meeting, and that's typically what the events are, that staff member will be responsible.
Thank you.
So we are not considering allowing the public to use it at night?
No, we are not. I mean, I don't think that would be prudent, given, the facility itself is, needing to be secure. I mean, it's just
Okay. Could we at
something-
least put a light out front? I know when we left the meeting there the other night, it was completely pitch black, and if you weren't careful, you could walk right off the curb.
Yes, that's a good point, and
Yeah.
we'll
Put a
definitely look
motion
into
light
that.
or
and
something out there.
We
Something,
can make
yeah.
that happen.
Thank you.
Eric, over here. The water treatment facility that we're talking about, are we talking about the facility that's out in Fort Dick?
Yes,
The one that you showed me
we're
the other
talking
day?
about the rainy collector, which is the water source, as well as the chlorination building.
Okay,
So
thank you.
both facilities.
Okay.
The chlorination building, and how about the fluoridation building?
So that's
One and the same.
One and the same.
Oh.
We refer to it in-house as the chlorination building, but it's really the chlorination / fluoride building.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor, motion and a second. So could you please pull the vote?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Shalom?
Yes.
Councilmember Westfall,
Yes.
Councilmember Holly,
Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Mania,
Yes.
and Mayor Murray.
Yes, thank you. On to reports and presentations. We have a presentation by the Public Works on projects for 2012.
Yeah, Mayor, members of council, I'll introduce Mr. Weir again. He'll have his night tonight to present to the council as the council discussed and requested that an update be given on all the projects that the Public Works Department has been working on this last year.
Yeah, I don't look quite as
Mr. Barnes,
good,
yeah,
but
he'll start us out.
no, we are a.
You've aged since you've taken this role over.
This will age you. We do work as a department, and we're really thrilled to have this opportunity to share with you the things we do as a department and what we have done. And what we have done will probably be just for a short period of time. And because we've done quite a bit over the 9 years that Eric and I have been here, and who we are as a department. And the reason I'm pleased and thrilled to be able to do that is because we're very proud of the work we do, but more in particular, the people that we have working with us to get that work done. And as a department, we don't have a lot of rules, but we have a few overriding philosophies that I'd share with you. One is, and the first is that we have a feeling of cooperation among the entire department so that we all work together. And a lot of times you'll have certain people have a lot of talents in certain areas, and just to get everybody, because there's so many things we do, we need people that can do a lot of different things and do them well and have a lot of education in a lot of the things that they do. So we all need to work together, and we really strive to do that. And in that, number two is professionalism, and we push for the guys to be professional in the way they react to the public and the way they work with each other. And also to dress and in their language respond professionally. Number three, it's the quality of the work we do. And we try and do things well so that we don't have to go back, and we want to be proud of what we do. So I think of projects like the pool and the sidewalks and a lot of the things we do, we put thought into, so we do quality work. And we also try when we do repairs to repair it one time and never have to go back and look at it again. We try to instill in the people a high quality of workmanship. And then safety. We want everybody, we have classes, we wear the type of gear we need to wear. We try to do everything we can so that everybody is safe when they go out and do their work. And the last thing I wanted to mention was efficiency in the work we do. And that means we have the right tools, and that is mechanically the backhoes and all that equipment, the equipment we have to take care of sewer spills or any emergencies we need to respond to, but also electronic tools so that we record and have databases on where everything is, the type of material it is, and have pictures, and we keep up to date in our department as far as having all the tools we need to be efficient and effective. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Eric to get into some of the particulars.
Jim, I wanted to just say one thing, if I may.
Go ahead.
About a month ago or so, I was at the corporation yard, and I noticed the vast improvement in the buildings and the equipment and the storage, and 2 or 3 of the employees were very proud and showed me around, and they were very proud of what they did because they did it. And it looks really nice. For the buildings of that age and some of the equipment and storage things that we have, it looks really professional.
Thank you, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. There's not a lot of money to do what we do, but we're trying to do the best we can with the resources that we have. And I wanted to mention that as we go through this presentation, the council can stop us at any time and ask questions, because that's what we're here for you to have as much information as you can on what's going on with us. And so if we can answer questions, that's exactly what we want to do.
right, well, I think Jim started us off very, very eloquently there, so thank you, Jim. This was actually, I was very excited when the council asked to receive this presentation as it is. It's an honor to be up here. It's an honor to tell the council about all the things that we're doing on a daily basis and just all that we do. And the crew that we do it with, it's truly a pleasure to work with them on a day in, day out basis and complete these projects. It makes coming to work, you know, it's really, it doesn't seem like a job most days, I mean, because we're going through the day-to-day operations and we're completing projects, and you're seeing some of the potential that this city has. You see it become a reality, you know, project by project, and able to do a lot of those things in-house. It makes it even that much more enjoyable for the sense of pride and the pride of with the people that you work with. But Public Works in general it's an interesting field. You know, coming from the private sector and working on some of the school projects and different construction projects that I worked on before I came to the city, you would go to work and you would see those, and they would be built, and the project would be, you know, celebrating. You have the ribbon cutting, different things like that. We have some of those projects, but most of our projects, it goes unseen by the public. You know, if you don't think about Public Works, we're doing our job. If you go to your faucet and you turn on your water and you're able to get that glass of water, we've done our job. If you go to, you know, to your bathroom and you flush the toilet and it goes away, we've done our job. If it doesn't, you know, we can't live life like we know it. You know, it's not modern civilization without Public Works. It's the running water, it's the sewer facilities, it's the streets. And that's really what we do. And, you know, coupled with that are the emergency responses and the regular everyday maintenance that this Public Works crew does. So it's the many facets of Crescent City Public Works.
I wish they were all here.
So do I. They've put in a long day today. As you might know, they were working on the Elk Valley project, and
I
Jason
know.
Wiley is here, and you'll be hearing from him here shortly, actually. Asked him to help out with his presentation. So, some Public Works statistics for your city of Crescent City. We have 23 miles of roads, 5 downtown parking lots, 750 street lights, 55 acres of parks, 7 restrooms. We have over 85 Public Works vehicles and emergency response vehicles that we operate and maintain for the city, the Crescent Fire Protection District, the PD, you know, different organizations. There are over 4,500 water connections. That includes over 60 miles of water mains. There's over 3,800 sewer connections, 20 lift stations. That's 51 miles of sewer pipe that we have to maintain. We read over 54,000 water meters every year. There's 8 municipal facilities. That includes the PD, Fire Department, Culture Center, pool, all those things. And then, of course, we have the wastewater treatment plant, we have the laboratory, and we have multiple water facilities, which we discussed earlier. The one key component that we're constantly working on, which helps us maintain each of these and really have a true understanding of what's going on at each facility, is GIS / you know, information technology and how it works within the Public Works. So GIS is a graphical information system. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to use our aerial photos and our maps to also map our utilities and to coordinate and organize projects. So what we're doing now, or what we've done in the past on the GIS portion of it, is we have worked on mapping out all the water systems, the sewer systems, the hydrants. We mapped out all the streets, the street signs, got all of our infrastructure in an electronic format on a map, so we can better have a database and utilize this technology to really organize our next work projects and understand what we have and what we need to improve on. The next step is taking this tool and getting it in the hands of the guys in the field. So we're working hand in hand with Fritz Ludeman on this. He's been instrumental in our GIS program on multiple levels. And now we're bringing in Jason Wiley, who's also very technically savvy. And we're now starting to roll out the iPad, which Gene will bring to you. And these will be used in the field starting in about 3 weeks. And what this is loaded with right now is this is a screenshot from the iPad. And what this is showing the water system. So from that iPad, what you can do is you can zoom in on whatever area you're in, and you'll see on the iPad it actually has a little purple dot that shows you your location where you're at. You zoom in on any portion of it, you can touch a water line and it'll bring up all of the attributes that we have with that particular line. So it'll tell you the size, it'll tell you the composition, it'll tell you the depth of it. The other thing that we're able to do with this is as we do these projects and as we're working on things and repairing these water lines, you can actually take a picture with the digital camera with this iPad. It'll be geo-referenced is what they call it, and it'll automatically upload on here with the location. So if, say, we're looking for water repairs and we think, boy, you know, we've been in here before, you know, what were the conditions that we were in? You bring this up, it'll show you, okay, I've taken 3 pictures of here are the pictures. You click on the picture, it shows you exactly what you're dealing with. So it's just really a great tool for us to use out in the field.
Eric, is this the first time the city's really had an in-depth GIS system?
We've been working on this for about the last 5 or 6 years, but it just keeps evolving. And it really is, you know, it's today's technology that we're able to use as a tool. As far as having the maps and the storm drains and just all of those systems, but it's also going to be, you know, technology that we're going to use into the future, and it's just going to keep developing, you know, and it's going from the computer at our desktop, which is how it was used in the past, to now it's going to be on these iPads, it'll be on the phones, it'll be just mobile technology, just, you know, the way of the world, so to speak. So that's kind of where we're going on the IT side of things. The next portion of the presentation, I'd like to get into just some pictures of what we've done in the last year. And we'll start with some of the scheduled maintenance, and then we'll work our way into some of the projects that we've been working on. So with that, I'd like to invite Jason Wiley to come up. Jason is the new Public Works Maintenance Manager for the city.
Thank you, Eric. How do you run this thing? I'm not technically savvy. He lied.
Just scroll down and I'll go to the
Okay, gotcha. I never really like going after Mr. Weir. He's pretty good at this. It is a nice tool, this iPad. I've had it out in the field, and you don't need to have a Wi-Fi signal or anything like that for this mapping system we have. And that's nice when you can pull up to a scene and just hit a button and it pulls up the composition or whatever you may need, because having that knowledge of what you need for parts to repair it is so critical, especially when, you know, time is of the essence on these repairs and emergencies. So it's a nice tool. It's a very nice tool to have. Mr. Weir here kind of touched on a little bit of what we do, and it's quite vast, and it's changed quite a bit as of late. There's been a bit of a restructuring that's taken place, and I think for the better. We've been doing a lot of cross-training with the crews, instead of being kind of, maybe more singled in one job duty, kind of open up that horizon and kind of learn more different responsibilities and jobs and different things, so we can be more versatile. And you know, it's kind of, it can be a painful process, but with the crews we have, they're stepping up, and that's what's making life so easy for myself, because they got a great attitude and they're willing to learn, and they're taking on new tasks. And so it's been really neat to see how everybody's been coming together and to take on these different things, because the city really does, and I don't think the public knows how much we really do. There's a lot of unsung heroes that get muddy in those trenches and tackle these different things. Up here you see some photos of the crews jumping into a water project, upgrading water services and expanding them up there. Just kind of, you know, when you have a crew that's been educated, they could just work fluid with each other. And maybe instead of just meter reading, now they're working on the water lines, and they're getting the education and getting the certificates to be able to do this thing, to provide clean and safe water. And it's nice to have that, to be able to pull somebody here or there and just be able to bring them together and make things happen. And on this other side, it's just an ongoing battle with these street lights. We have an aging system, and so it's always a challenge to keep those up and running. It's an ongoing challenge. And up here we have a worker that has taken on the responsibility in the last 3 months, and it's just amazing. Not only is she running the street sweeper, but then she'll go into fixing these street lights, then jumps right in the crew, running dump trucks with us, and so it's just great to have these assets at our disposal like this. Yeah, it's great to work with too. We conduct more meetings, more of a tailgate type of safety meetings on a monthly basis on this last year, going over maybe conduct or safety or PR skills, different things like that. And it's proven to be pretty valuable. Let's see, let's go down here. I better get going here. We got a good shot in the arm this last year with the RHS crews with the city, and things seem to be cleaning up. And we want to continue that sense of pride, and so what you see here is guys pressure washing sidewalks and different things as we get time. We want to kind of just keep that going and keep that sense of just, you know, just cleanliness, and so we're just taking all kinds of things, doing sidewalk projects and trying to prevent trip hazards and different things like that. The list is very long, and it's definitely a challenge to prioritize, but it's nice having the professionals that we have to be able to tackle this. Boy, I'm not good with this. There we are. Here you see we're doing a little blacktop patching. We got plenty of that to do in this town, as you know. The crews are expanding as far as who we're able to use in this area as well. I don't know if the council knows this, but and it's good for the public to know, is a lot of times our hands are tied with the asphalt plants, whether they run or not. And a lot of times I'll have a project set up, I'll get the confirmation that they are running, and we'll dig up a site, and then we go out to get it, and the plant breaks down. And so, you know, it's just things like that that kind of handcuff you, and you know, you want the public to know why this is taking place, you know, because you have a sense of pride, you want to finish the project. Up here we got, on this side with the cement truck, we were able to also bring up the RHS crew. We were able to kind of get a feel for the talent that's out there in the community, and bring on some of that as a part-time worker. And it's just kind of another tool in our tool belt, and also we learn from them and they learn from us, and